All right, guys, welcome back to another Laces Out podcast. This is week 10, and J Bunk is with me. Missing Waterboy. He said he was doing some more important things, which for our record right now, I believe him because right now we have been sucking. How have you been, Bunk?
Good, man. I'm good. I'm back. I'm better than ever, man.
So we just got news yesterday. Big news for the Carolina. Not even just Carolina, and for the Rams as well. Odell Beckham going to the Rams. Huge news. Another threat for Matthew Stafford to throw to. Someone like an OBJ superstar in the past. Haven't seen that recently. Possibly might see that same OBJ back. Another hand, Cam Newton coming back to Carolina. Some fans happy, some fans not. What's your thoughts on this whole Cam situation?
This is my thoughts, man. Unbiased opinion. This is my thoughts.
Yeah.
When we moved on from Cam, I thought it was time. I thought it was time to move on. New regime, new team, new coach. It's time to move on. Well, they put a Band-Aid on it. Brought in Teddy.
Yep.
Not that great. Moved on from Teddy. Brought in Sam. Not that great.
Shot in the dark, and we're now looking, hey, like you said, not that great.
And now Sam's hurt. PJ is our only backup, which we saw him at times last year. Had some bright spots, but overall was not too impressive when he played. So then you look at the quarterback landscape, who they can bring in. I mean, Cam is the best option, I think, on the market. I mean, the best available quarterback. And then from a fan standpoint, it is kind of euphoric, I guess, to bring back,
right.
Feelings of likability aside.
The emotional attachment.
For Cam, his persona that a lot of people don't like. He did do a lot of great things for Carolina, and
I agree,
elevated our franchise to a level that we hadn't been to. So yeah, I mean, it's going to sell tickets. I think we got a better chance of winning games with him at quarterback than we did Sam Darnold. So I mean, it's a win-win, I think, for the franchise. They gave him a 1-year deal, so I guess they want to kind of see where he's at, where his arm's at, where his ankle's at. Can he lead a team to a winning season again? And I guess we'll go from there after this season. But yeah, I don't mind it at all, man.
All right. Well, so and I like that take because there's a lot of pieces, bits and pieces of that take I agree with 100%. I'll start with the first thing. Let me go ahead and give the credit to the man himself, Cam Newton. Thank you for coming to Carolina when you did. He was our draft pick, number 1, came and balled out, showed us that, hey, get rid of Jake Delhomme. We have an actual quarterback, franchise quarterback now. I'm excited for it. Great seasons all the way up to 2015, got us to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, lost it. The fumble and stuff, that was whatever. But after that Super Bowl, never really saw Cam be the same Cam. Trying to play through injuries. A couple seasons after, just never clicked. And that's whenever we let him go. And I know that was hard for a lot of people because that was the first time we actually, tasted a little bit of success besides back whenever, they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots and lost that one. But, we had Smith. We had, some, other running backs. A lot of running backs on injuries on that Super Bowl, by the way, all the way up to Nick Goings. We got a fullback going in that Super Bowl. But, besides the point, Cam Newton did bring us all the way to the Super Bowl. Definitely the most, winning we've ever seen. We had a great season with him, or 3 seasons. Same thing with McCaffrey. He came in, he complimented him. But here's the problem I have with bringing Cam back. We got rid of him, so we ripped the Band-Aid off with a lot of people. A lot of people weren't happy with it because, emotional attachment, obviously. He got us to where we were as a franchise. Now, all that happens. We bring him back, and what's going to happen, even if he does have, we have a decent, playoff run maybe, that would be nice. But if that does not happen, which this could be very likely, if we see the same Cam the Patriots released, if that doesn't happen, what are we going to do? We're going to have to do something very similar, and it's going to be the same thing. We're seeing the same cycle again. So I do agree, though. Cam's going to we're going to have a better shot at winning for the rest of the season. I agree. Puts, butts in seats. You're going to see a lot of fans happy that he's back. I've seen it on Twitter all day yesterday. I was personally not happy just because I don't want to go back through that cycle again. We're going to have to do it again. So we're going to eventually have to get a guy behind Cam Newton to be our franchise quarterback again. I don't think Cam is it anymore. I'm glad, we got us this far, and now he's going to finish the season, which is okay, but eventually we're going to have to part ways again, and I just think it's going to be very repetitive. And that's my take. And that, that's just my opinion. Bunk gave his opinion. I'm sure you guys are giving your opinions in the chat as well. But, yeah, man, some just heartstrings, emotional attachments going on in Carolina, good and bad for, different fans and stuff, which it is what it is, But, yeah, hopefully Sam can, recover, man. That sucks that he is out for that because that honestly could be his career. Even I'm not as in just like a career-ending injury, but just the spot he was in for that to happen. Who's going to give him another chance? Will he have another shot at being QB1 anywhere else? Who knows? But
yeah, I think best case scenario, he'll get a backup job next year, whether it's with us or whether it's with somebody else. But I think what I would like to see is Cam. Obviously, I want to see Cam be successful and the Panthers be successful. So, I'd like to see a good season out of him, enough to possibly bring him back for another year or two. And then this offseason, draft a QB. There's several QBs coming out this year that have looked good, depending on where we end up drafting. The Pittsburgh quarterback looks phenomenal. He can sling the ball. I watched him against Carolina either last night or the night before. Dude can just sling the ball. He's good. Sam Howell's good. The guy from Liberty, my alma mater, Malik Willis, he can sling the ball, and he's a mobile, dual-threat quarterback. So there's going to be a few options coming out. So that's what I would like to see. Cam, good enough to sign another year or two with us, bring in a rookie quarterback this offseason, play under him for a season or two, and then take over the reins.
Yeah, I hope the best for Cam in Carolina. Obviously, Panther fan. I made a couple posts yesterday just out of anger because I was pissed off at the news just because I felt like instead of taking a step forward, we were taking 2 steps back with that move. Even though it, like I said, very short term kind of move. I got pissed, so I was like, I'm not a Panther fan until he's gone. Obviously, I'm going to be a Panther fan until I die. So, but, I was obviously just pulling the, But, anyway, let's get into the show. I'm glad we did get to, have a, nice 10-minute session talking a little bit about Cam, or not even 10-minute, 5-minute session about talking about Cam coming to Carolina. So, here we go. Let's get into it. And since we had that, talk, let's just kind of skip the past, even though we did have some breakout players last week. James Conner, just one of those guys. Same thing with, I'm pretty sure, Lamar Jackson had a great game. Not the best game as we saw last night, Thursday Night Football. Miami Dolphins just beat the Baltimore Ravens, which, Bunk, we've been talking about this whole season. We've been really impressed with Lamar. We've been really impressed with the Ravens in general. Just, Hollywood Browns now, being the guy. But the Miami Dolphins have just not looked good. But now, seeing a little spark against a good team, it's just the NFL's so not predictable, What are your thoughts on last night's game?
Very unpredictable, man. But I will say, coming into the season, Miami's defense was supposed to be legit. Like last year, they had a great season. Xavier Howard flying all over the field, intercepting like crazy. And coming into this season, they were rated one of the top defenses just based off speed and skill. Haven't seen it too much, but granted, their offense hasn't put them in the best situations um, to succeed. But yeah, man, last night just flying around the field, blitzing like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
they
broke
look
a record.
phenomenal.
They broke a record on most blitzes by a secondary, I'm pretty sure. I read today it was like 24 or 28 blitzes. So, and now the thing is, does this make the Ravens kind of, is that the Achilles heel for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? Now are you about to see teams just do kind of similar to what the Dolphins did to beat them? So now they're gonna have to figure out how to counter those blitzes, and definitely gonna have to hit the practice, because that could be very bad if teams start doing that, and teams like someone like Miami is now beating the Ravens. Imagine a great defensive team taking on the Ravens and doing the same thing. So kind of wild, man. But any big game really speaking you to this week in Week 10?
Yeah, there's a couple that I've kind of got my eyes on. First one is Dallas, Atlanta.
Yep.
Dak came back last week, had a rough game against the Broncos. So I just want to see if they can regain some continuity after a week of practice and return to basically the number one offense in the league when they're on. I mean, you got Zeke and Dak, and the weapons, CD and Amari. Gallup will be back soon. I mean, they're just loading on offense. So can they regain some form against the Falcons and put up some numbers, preferably Dak and CD, since they're on my fantasy team? But and then just interested in as far as the Falcons, Kyle Pitts, man, I love watching him play. I hate the Falcons, but dude is a specimen. I mean, he reminds me of Calvin Johnson, honestly. Like he's just big and fast, and I mean, as a freaking tight end, it's almost unfair the way he come off the line. It's unreal.
I mean, he's been great.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, the only thing because you're about to, I mean, that's my bust this week is Kyle Pitts, and the reason is, if you watch him in the last couple games, they've been double teaming him because they're lining him outside of the box. So once they do that, you're having a couple secondaries on him, even though he's, they're just double teaming him. They don't have someone like Ridley kind of keeping the best corner off of him. So now every chance they get, the best corner is now guarding Kyle Pitts, because like you said, he's a freak of nature, man. He's just one of those guys who will go up and get the ball. He's fast. Literally, their next Julio Jones coming up franchise for the Falcons. And, they even snuck out the win last week against New Orleans and kind of surprised me by, getting that win. Game-winning kick by Koo. But I guess the game I want to shout out from, I don't know. Let's go the division game. Let's go Kansas City at Las Vegas. The Raiders right now and the Kansas City and Chargers and Broncos are all within reach. I'm pretty sure in their standings. I'll check it out to make sure, to double check to see the right stats on it. But I'm pretty sure they're all neck and neck. So this is a big division game right now for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. Actually, every single one of them has 5 wins. I'm looking at it right now. So they're all tied on that. Besides the losses, the Chiefs and the Broncos have 4 losses, as the Raiders and Chargers have 3. But this is still huge. I mean, are the Raiders, they've been showing that they've got what it takes. And the Kansas City Chiefs have shown that, I think they've figured them out. I think a lot of teams after the Super Bowl has figured out Mahomes and the Chiefs, and right now they're not getting rolled, or they're not getting it to roll. What's your thoughts on that game, though?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that game. That was the second one that I was gonna highlight.
Yeah.
Big division game, and basically the same things you said, man. The Raiders last year beat the Chiefs, so interested to see if the same thing happens or if the Chiefs can wake up and return to dominance.
Yeah, and we have Warrior up in the chat, big Packer fan. He's saying the Kansas City Chiefs blitz Jordan Love a lot too, so we might be seeing that against Derek Carr. But that's a smart strategy to do. Against a guy who really hasn't even seen any regular season play. What are you going to do? Send some pressure on the young guy and see what he's got. I mean, eventually, a lot of people know that the young quarterbacks are going to make the mistakes. But let's speak it on of the young quarterbacks. Let's do one more game before we talk about the boomer bust. But Buffalo at New York Jets. This is one that I kind of want to highlight. And you think about it, you're like, game's going to be a blowout. But let's look back as of last week. The Jets, we have a new quarterback in play. Obviously, he got hurt halfway through, so I kind of don't want to count that as his full game. So you got Mr. I can't think of the Jets quarterback, if you can help me out, but
Mike White.
Mike?
Mike White.
So yeah. Mike White, I mean, looking phenomenal as what he is. He said he should be picked number 1. And Buffalo looked terrible last week. So is this something the Jets can build on? And we've seen a lot of upsets recently. So is this going to be another one? Or do you think the Bills are going to come back? I mean, the Bills, I don't know. They've been kind of flat as of recent.
I think they'll want to come out and bounce back from that loss to the Jaguars. I mean, that's about as ugly as it gets. And I mean, the Jets, yeah, Mike White looked good the full game he played, but I mean, the Bills defense is premier, one of the best in the league. I don't see them.
It's a test. It's a real test.
I don't see them sitting back and just letting him ball out. I think they're going to send a lot of pressure. And I think the Bills will win handily.
He hasn't really earned my respect for calling him Magic Mike yet. I've heard that on a couple other podcasts, but they're calling him Magic Mike already. Magic Mike. You know how Fitzmagic was something. But is it Magic Mike? I swear, though, I will start calling him Magic Mike if he wins against the Buffalo Bills defense, because holy snap. I mean, that defense is unbelievable. I got him in one of my leagues. And they don't disappoint each and every week. So, and they already have their bye. I love it. I don't have to worry about bye weeks on defense anymore. But let's go ahead to everyone's favorite part of the show, the boom or bust part of the show. But before we do, obviously we got to show the record. It's not the best. We're gonna have to do it real quick, Bunk. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. Here you go. There you go. Discounts at 6-12. J Bunk 315. Waterboy 5-7. The Hex is 8-8. All right, let's get to week 10. Boom or bust. Let's start with the boom, Bunk. Don't give your bust. Just give your boom. Who do you got?
Who did I pick?
That's a good question. If I leave mine or my screen, it will show. So I can't. Do you?
Jonathan Taylor. I got Jonathan Taylor booming going up against the Jaguars this week.
And
he's projected.
Yeah, he's been popping off, man. He's
projected 17.6. I think he'll exceed that greatly.
And he did last week against Magic. Even Magic Mike went down. I can't say that. Like I said, he didn't earn my respect from me calling him that. So Mike White, went down early, and I thought that could have been that was hope for sure for the Colts to just run away with that game. That's what they did. But yeah, I do like that boom. My boom this week, I'm going Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon has been getting the goal line carries, and halfway through the week, we're like, is Melvin Gordon their guy? Is Javonte Williams going to take over the spot? No, Melvin Gordon's not going anywhere. He's their guy. He's their goal line guy. We've been seeing it time and time again. He's going to get you your, 10 to 15 carries a game. And they are splitting during inside the 20s. But during that goal line, it's all Melvin Gordon, and I love it. He's only projected 11.4. I see him scoring 2 touchdowns. He's facing, not even a great run defense, being, I'm pretty sure, the Eagles. So, yeah, I see them running all over him. Because, well, it's Teddy Bridgewater. If not anything, dump off passes, too. So, but let's go to bust now. Who are you thinking who's not going to do shit or live up to their projections?
Well, I originally had Alvin Kamara, but he is now out. So I'll pivot and go Michael Carter against Buffalo. He's projected 12.3. I don't think he reaches that.
Michael Carter at Buffalo. Yeah, we talked about the Bills' defense. They're going to be tough in the air and on the ground. They got it all locked down. So, and it's hard. You look at other, defenses like the Carolina Panthers. You're like, that's a good defense. It is. And I agree. But what the Panthers are struggling with mostly is the run game. And people know that. But the thing is, at least the Panthers have a little bit of a weakness. If you look at the Bills, stacked from head to toe. So, but I'm just saying, most of these top defense usually have a little bit of an Achilles heel that you can pick apart and get some wins off of. But the Bills, I don't know. Maybe I guess take notes from the Jaguars and see what they did. But I think it was just one of those fluke games, kind of like when Green Bay lost to New Orleans Week 1. I think it was a fluke game for the Bills, and like you said, they'll bounce back. But yeah, let's see. I don't think they're going to run against them. Let's just say that. They're going to have to throw because the Bills will probably be up by 30 in the third quarter. So, good bust on that. My bust is going to be Kyle Pitts. He's only projected, he's projected a little bit too much for me, 12.1. I think if he was around 10 or under, I wouldn't have done it. But 12 is just a little too high for me. Just because they've been double teaming him, so I just don't see him. He might be getting 8 to 10 targets or something, but I don't see him catching maybe but 4 to 5, and he would have to break out. So and it's possible, but he would also have to get in the end zone. So I don't see that happening for the Falcons. All right, man. Well, I guess if there's any questions in the chat, I can answer. I know, Bunk, you were on a time limit today, so if you do have to go, that's all good. Warrior, I know you're in the chat. Any questions here? And I will just do a roll call before head out. He did say we picked 2 Badgers to boom. He's like, I like it. Wisconsin Badgers. I just noticed.
The question is Rodgers going to play this week?
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Also, Kyler Murray's a game time decision. So yeah, we're gonna have to keep our eyes on that too, because that's 2 great quarterbacks. If you're in trouble right now, especially in this kind of week 10, is basically either you win or lose, and this could put you over the top to the playoffs, or you could just start sinking. And I think we're seeing that in our league, where you're seeing some guys kind of even, but you look at the teams right now and you look at the rosters and they're just gonna tank. So that's just how that's how it is. Depending if you're playing the waiver wires right, you're making the right trades. That's what's going on. So Aaron Rodgers, boom. Russell Wilson, bust. LOL. So that's what Warriors said, because they are playing each other. I will say shout out to Billy, aka Packers Revolution. He's actually going to be there for that game. So in Lambeau, watching Russell Wilson will be nice. Like you said, hopefully Aaron Rodgers plays, but doesn't look like we have any questions. So we're going to sign off for week 10. We'll see you guys in week 11. Good luck in everybody's league. Every person in fantasy football, good luck to you, except for my opponents. We'll see you guys later. Go screw
my
yourself.
opponent. Screw this Hail Mary.
All right, yeah, screw the Hail Marys. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll see you guys in week 11. Peace out.
Later.